According to a study in 2014, roughly one-third of high school graduates are ready for college when they graduate. Students are not being taught what they need to know for the next grade level they are to enter into. This is because teachers are teaching to the test instead of teaching the material that the students need to know to succeed in life. The teachers are more concerned that their students can pass one test and one grade level than they are with how they do once they move on from their classroom. Teaching the test has become a major issue in public schooling. The teachers will take time out of their classes to show their students how to take a test instead of continue to teach the students the actual material that will be on the test. The Texas Assessment of Academic Skills says that teachers will take up to 5 days out of their schedules to teach just the test and not the material. The standardized tests are what shows the school how well the teacher is doing at teaching his or her students. So, ideally, if the students do well on the test, then that means the teacher is doing well teaching. This is why teachers get caught up in teaching the test instead of the material that the students need to know. They want their students to do well on the test so it reflects well on their teaching, and so, therefore, they can keep their job. Girl Meets World is about a father, Corey Matthews, who is the teacher for his daughter, Riley Matthews. He not only teaches her lessons about history, but he also teaches her and her fellow classmates things that will help them later in life. He focuses a lot on real-life problems and helps find real-life solutions to them. Corey does not care about teaching to the test. He cares that his students learn what they need to know to succeed when they leave his class. He asks the hard questions in class like, what is the meaning of life, or are people naturally good or evil? And he presents the important lessons in life like, everything alive deserves to be, and that people change people. He wants his students to think about life and what it means to them. His students stay engaged with his teaching because he is teaching them things that they want to learn and know that will help them in areas of life other than just history. Corey teaches them so many random things that his students actually begin to tease him about being more than just their history teacher. This does not bother him because he just wants to make sure that his students are learning what they need to know in life. Most teachers teach to the test so they can show the schooling system just how well they are doing with teaching their students. But Corey lets the students speak for themselves to the school at how he is doing as a teacher. Corey does not take time out of class to go over how to take a test. He lets his students take the test to the best of their ability and then teaches them what they did wrong with the material, not what they did wrong with the actual test. He does not get caught up in how well the class does as a whole, but rather how well each individual student does on his or her test. He sees that every person is different and has a different background, which affects how they will do in the class and on the test. Not every student is going to do the same, and they're all going to bring in different things that either help or harm how well they do in class. The same study found that students work better with other students. Corey realizes this and would constantly do projects where students pair up and work together. These projects were always real-life projects that could relate to what is going on in their lives and not only help them in school, because it would also help them in real life. They would work on a project together that taught them things that would help them now and later in life. Many scholars have researched and found that students learn best when it is something that relates back to their lives. It makes it easier for them to follow the lesson instead of just write problems on the board and have them try to figure it out. Corey relates every lesson that he teaches to his students' lives and somehow makes sure that it relates to every student and not to just one individual student. Corey also wants to prepare his students for their workforce once they graduate out of school. A lot of his lessons are about what life in the workforce is going to be like. He wants to make sure his students know what is lying ahead of them and are not shocked once they graduate and have to enter the workforce. Most teachers are not preparing their students for their workforce, but rather just preparing them for their next test. Overall, each of his lessons deal with history and time in some way and is something that would need to be taught in another history class at some point. He does not neglect his actual teaching that he has to do to teach the important lessons that he does. He ties them together so that the students learn about history and about how it still affects them today. He shows that history is not dead, but it is still alive. It is not something that is only from a book from the past, but something that is about your future.